Hi, I'm Andy Barker and welcome to the start of Rehab Room's performance series. Over the coming weeks, I'm going to talk you through about some of the mistakes that I've made and some of the mistakes that people make on a sort of day-to-day basis about how they gain entry and how to get a job in professional sport. I've made mistakes myself, and like I say, I see people looking for placements, internships, possible paid employments, and I see some of the mistakes they make on a day-to-day basis about trying to get into a professional sports environment, which can be very difficult. And some of the mistakes that I've made and those people make day to day are quite simple sometimes. So what I want to talk about today is just about doing research. So what I mean by that is it's probably on two fronts. Before you make contact with someone like myself as a gatekeeper to professional sport or anyone else at any other sports club, if that's the sort of career path you want to take, you need to do your research. So you need to know who you're addressing your contact to, whether that's a phone conversation, whether that's an email, that's even a letter. It's more than likely probably in today's day and age going to be an email, but you need to know who you're addressing your email to. A bit of a joke, but you'd be surprised at some sort of requests that you do get. I've had numerous emails where people have spelt my name wrong. They've called me by the name of a physio that left 10 years ago. They've addressed their email to Andy Barker, head physio at Leeds United. Never worked at Leeds United. Head physio of Leeds Rhinos Rugby Union Club, which is not a rugby union club called Leeds Rhinos. So that simple as it sounds, and as almost laughable as it sounds, it's going to turn me off straight away. If I'm reading that email, I'm not going to read it probably beyond the first few lines. Due to the numerous obviously requests we do get, you want someone who's going to draw your attention and think, this person's done a bit of research, they've got a bit about themselves, and I'll spark a bit of a conversation and see if we can help them out with their potential requests. The second thing is probably do a research about the club or the environment you're looking at getting work into. So, I've had requests before where sort of people have talked about and made conversation about hope you're enjoying your off season, and we're like in the middle of the season, so obviously they've not took too much thought and time in trying to see what's actually going on at that particular club and how that team's particularly running, and also just about what your public perception and what your actual potential role and responsibilities might be in that particular role. So if you're coming to work as a second year physiotherapy student, people request, they want to see acute injuries, they want to run on the pitch on match day. With a little bit of research, that's not going to happen on a placement. You have to do advanced trauma qualifications. You need to obviously be a paid employee to be able to do those sort of things. So simple as it sounds, doing your research about who you're addressing your email to, and also the environment and the club that you're wanting to work into and get the opportunity is massively important. As simple as it sounds, that could turn someone on or off straight away reading your request. So in summary, research is massively important. As simple as it sounds, a 5-minute search of someone, the gatekeeper, the person you're trying to make contact with, will give you a load of information. It'll tell you about where their role, where they might have worked previously, where they studied, other interests. They might lecture, they might have got articles and blog posts elsewhere, and a little bit of time and effort will stand you in real good stead, and you can actually spark up some conversation via your contact rather than just sending a CV and request, please give me a placement, etc., etc. on these particular dates. You can try and build a bit of rapport, a bit of conversation with someone, and that is going to stand you in real good stead. Stay tuned for more. So I'm going to bring on the Rehab Room performance series this week and in the coming weeks to give you some more top tips about how to get a job in professional sport. Thanks for listening.